Good morning, welcome back. It's Friday Coffee Talks. I'm your host, Connor Volpe. We're here for episode 132, and we are talking over coffee on Friday at a very early start this morning. We had to meet a contractor over at the store over in Buford. We're still recovering from the flood. Didn't realize they were getting there so early, so I had to hop in the truck and rush over there, but it did give me a chance to go get coffee from Chin Chin. Lovely place in Buford. This is the campfire latte. It's mocha with toasted marshmallow. It's good, but it's not my favorite. They have a couple others that are just really, really good, and I wanted to try this one today. Maybe I shouldn't have. I don't know. What can you do? We are nearing completion at Buford. It's getting there. I'll touch on that in just a bit, but wanted to catch you up on a couple things. Number one that I want to just mention real quick. If you ever doubted this show was filmed live, it is filmed live. I'm actually here. It's Friday morning. I'll post this probably an hour from now by the time I get it all ready. But Scotty Scheffler was arrested this morning. I logged onto ESPN when I sat down at my desk, and it was like, saw the red banner across the bottom, and I thought it was April Fool's Day. Like, what in the world? What an insane situation to have to go to jail like 2 hours before you tee off at the PGA Championship. If I wasn't cheering for Scotty, I definitely am now. I was anyways, but after all this craziness, I mean, wow. More important than anything, what a tragedy that a pedestrian was struck and killed. That's horrible. Prayers and thoughts are with that family, and that's the most important thing here. But what an insane situation to start your Friday morning with. Like, whoa, arrested on your way to the number one golfer in the world. Crazy. The other thing is my son Parker. He had his tech club showcase this week. So he's been doing that, I guess, basically this whole second semester. He joined tech club, and it is wild. We got to see all his projects that he's worked on. And the dude is doing more advanced coding, I think, than I have ever done. And I took like actual coding classes in college. He's putting together some amazing stuff. It's crazy to see his level of talent. You can see this is just how his brain works, and it's really cool. And the most proud thing is that he won. He got a first place trophy for his school out of the entire tech club at the entire elementary school. Dude took home the hardware. The championship. Couldn't be more proud. Got a trophy for making a game. I mean, how cool is that? It's the coolest thing. So super proud of Parker and everything he did with Tech Club this year. He made some really cool stuff, and I'm really impressed with how well he's doing. Now we're into swim teams. So Parker and Fallon are both doing swim team. That's taken up a ton of time, but they're both taking to it like a fish. They're both doing really well. And Savvy's even doing great in swim lessons too. She's not deathly afraid of the pool anymore. So that's a wonderful thing. We are back to Buford, getting the store all set up and ready. The vast majority, in fact, the last contractor is there today doing everything. That's who I had to meet very early this morning. They're wrapping up their stuff, but I've been doing nights over there. I was there last weekend. It's on to me, baby. It's all my stuff. So I'm ready to go. I've got to build the cash wrap, and I've got to get all the technology loaded in there, and all the shelves and displays and decor, and all the last minute things that I've got to do before Mandy can start loading up her inventory and all the fun stuff. So this is my favorite part. I was over there till late last night, cutting plywood, and gosh, it's great. I've got a couple new tools this time around. I got a track saw for Christmas, a really nice one that is a game changer. I mean, for cutting up plywood and building cabinetry and stuff, it is making my process so much better, so much easier, so much more accurate, so much more efficient. I mean, everything about it is wonderful. Love that thing. It's been awesome. Also, I mean, this sounds really silly, but I also got a new tool belt, which for as many things as I do, I'm shocked that it's taken me this long to get a tool belt, especially since I grew up watching my dad wear a tool belt like every day. But I got a nice one. It's like got the shoulder straps, so it's not like super heavy. Last night was the first time I've like actually worn it to do work. Like I've had some stuff around, here and there, but got it all loaded up with everything I needed in it. And it was amazing at how quickly I adapted to knowing where everything is without having to look and having everything at my fingertips. Stepping back, when we were building the Halcyon store, there was a Saturday that my dad came over, and I may have touched on this, but there was a Saturday that my dad came over and we spent an entire Saturday working together. And it was such a great experience for me in a multitude of ways. Obviously, my dad was super helpful. Having an extra set of hands there, it was really productive to get things done. But it was also such a cool experience to get to work alongside my dad, who taught me everything that I know. Back when I was little, we were building a fort in the backyard, like a tree house or whatever, or I'd go with him to build fences. He's owned a fence company my entire life. Or whatever it was, building Pinewood Derby cars or whatever. It was, I learned everything about building and construction and lumber and all that kind of stuff from my dad and working alongside my dad. So it was more than I realized. It was working with an extension of myself, really. And the tables had turned where my whole life growing up, it was my dad would show me how to do this or how to do that. And hey, go get that tool. Or the perfect example is when we were doing Pinewood Derby cars when I was in Boy Scouts. My dad would, we'd do the design, we'd cut it all out. And then when it came time to sand and do the finished stuff, my dad would take the car and he would scribble on it with a pencil. He'd hand me a sheet of sandpaper and he would go, come back to me when the pencil's gone. And I would sit there and I'd sand the heck out of that thing, until all the pencil marks were gone. And I'd bring it back to him and he'd look over it and he'd like color this spot, and he'd show me where I needed to sand, come back to me when the pencil's gone. And so that was how I sanded all my Pinewood Derby cars. So it was just things like that, tips and tricks and techniques and how to use this tool and how to stay safe on this. And, the setting up this and designing this. It was everything that I learned was from my dad. And so again, I didn't realize it until most of the way through that day, but as helpful as Mandy is and as the kids are with projects and even friends that I've had do stuff with, it's when I'm working with those people, it's when I'm giving them instructions of like, okay, cut this, you want to use this tool, you want to measure it like this, and you want to mark it like this, and you want to do this. It's a lot of instruction to get across what I need them to do. But it wasn't that way with my dad. When we were working, I was up on a scissor lift most of the day. I was doing all the stuff that was up in the ceiling, 20 feet in the air. And when I was working with my dad, I could just be like, hey, I need trim put on this. Boom, done. Dad's off doing his thing. Hey, I need, we've got these like pegboards to hang clothes on there. Hey, Dad, I need you to make the pegs for these. It's a dowel rod that's mitered so it turns up so hangers can't fall off. Boom, done, got it. And so, yeah, I watched my dad that whole day put his tool belt on, and I felt so silly the whole day because I was like, this is a silly thing in general, but the whole day I kept looking down and going, dang it, I left my pencil over there, or, I'm going to measure something. I'm like, where did I set that tape measure down? I'm like, oh, and my dad's moving around like a daggum, everything's right where he needs it. And, I guess I underestimated how handy it was. But last night getting, my first cuts on the plywood and, getting actual progress made on stuff and tape measure, pencils, Sharpie, square, like everything, just having it right where I need it at all times within reach. It was awesome. It was so great. So, very successful night last night. I think I'll be over there again tonight making stuff happen. But yeah, it was, it's good. We're making good progress at the store. We're so close to reopening and I hope we can do it very soon. We're ready to get our Buford community back. We're ready to be back open, and it's already looking great to not have it be a gutted concrete floor and stud wall mess. To have drywall up and paint is very nice, but when we get to have all of our color in there, everything's white right now. So to get all of our color back, we're very, very excited about that. We've got some surprises coming, some new things for our folks that we didn't have before. I won't let those slip yet, but I will. I'll put some stuff on here as soon as they're ready. I mentioned Parker earlier and the girls, Fallon and Savannah. If you're fans of my kids, you'll want to be around next week. I've got an episode planned. They've been begging me to get back on Friday Coffee Talk, so I've got an episode planned with all three kids. If you're a fan of the Volpe children, don't miss next week's episode. Thank you for joining me this week. Enjoy some great coffee. I'm going to finish mine and probably have a cup or two more. Have a great weekend, and I'll catch you on the next episode.